it from the get-go.
As opposed to normal, we lie to the guests straight away.
Hey, man, please, Rockstar, don't fuck this up for us.
As I was saying, so exciting. You've got album launch this week. It will be live by the time this goes live, but so exciting, man. It's been a big build-up.
It has. It's been a very, 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 very long time in the making.
Yeah, man.
I've heard this record so many times, so I'm really excited to hear people hear it for the first time.
You've started playing a bit of it live, correct?
Yeah. We played, other than Raw, we did Raw for sound check for a couple of the American shows, but just the 3 singles.
Okay, what's the response been like for that?
Sick, actually. I mean, Hollywood's been kind of, as well, I know that you guys kind of ruined the video. I was waiting for your reaction, and you guys lost it.
That's entirely my fault, by the way. Johnny's like, what happened to that video? I was like, I don't know what I do with that card. So
I was waiting up for that one.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing.
Wow. Sorry, man. Do you want us to shoot another one, or we'll just send it to you?
Do it, but like be really over the top happy, so I feel good.
We can do that.
That's us all the time.
Casanova has been the big one, as I think everyone can imagine, from like Unify and Full Tilt and things like that.
Also being the lead single.
Exactly, yeah. But it was the lead kind of split in the scene too. So it's been cool having a lot of people come back after and be like, oh, actually seeing it live has changed my whole opinion on it. It's really heavy. And we're like, yeah, we know.
You fucking bitches should have trusted us.
we wrote it, like, well aware.
Yeah.
So it's been really awesome.
I think it's exciting for people to as well, once this does get into the ears of everyone, that there is still the Thornhill heaviness to it. Like you haven't lost that by any means. It's just what was it, your new term for it? Have you heard Johnny's new term for it, by the way?
Yeah, didn't you call us dark disco?
And what do you think of that? Because it's Johnny.
I rate
Yes.
that. No, I rate that heaps.
No,
I mean,
man.
like, not really, but I like it.
Okay, so a little bit Johnny's a dickhead, a little bit we're okay with it.
Regardless, I think it's cool. I mean, it's cool to have just the inspirations come through for you guys too. Like, you guys have picked up a lot on things that obviously aren't said out loud too, which is really cool.
Are you talking about where I like said that, what's the guitarist name? I forgot his name. The one that looks like Mac, Nightman from Always Sunny.
Nightman Mac, Ethan. Yeah.
As soon as I saw it.
I'd never seen him before, and when he showed, I was like, "Oh my god, that's amazing!" Uncanny.
But like way sexier, I reckon.
Oh,
100%. Yes,
no question about it. Hey, talk to us about. There seems to be a huge resurgence. Is not the right word, but re-falling in love / inspiration of the Deftones. I'm hearing the Deftones is so much stuff right now, and you guys have done it. I'm not saying you've tried to do it, but you like particularly opening track here. Hellfire Club. I was just like, holy fuck, like that's better than Deftones. That's Deftones better than Deftones.
Well, everyone's doing Deftones better than Deftones. Sorry, Deftones fans. Sorry.
You want to talk on your inspiration here?
I reckon it was probably more for the instruments than it was for me. I actually didn't like Deftones for a while. And I couldn't get into them, and they used to play it in the van on tour, and I'm like, I don't get it. Like, it's not my thing.
I'm with you.
And then halfway through album writing, it clicked for me, and I was like, oh no. And then, but like, even so, like, I would say my influences probably weren't too heavy on Deftones. I think there's a lot more people and a lot more bands doing that type of vibe, and I don't think people have picked up on it. But for Ethan instrumentally, then yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it is much more in the instrumentals than your vocals. That's one of the things a lot of people have mentioned is there's a bit of a change in your vocals, particularly in the production on this album. But again, it's on the lead singles, you still hear, you got a beautiful voice, and you definitely still hear that throughout the whole album.
I kind of wanted a bit of a mood shift. Like I wanted to be a bit of a chameleon. And like, it's not even really relying on the vocal effects. Like, I changed my voice a lot. I learned a whole new technique of singing. You know, I recorded everything in my bedroom. Like I did everything like on my bed, basically. just like pacing my room. But I kind of figured out like a new fry and how to incorporate that to give it that kind of character and to give it that kind of energy, because my biggest hurdle was like, I want to be able to write a hook over a breakdown. I don't want to scream out. I want you to remember a hook and remember a breakdown, but for different reasons now.
Yeah.
And I feel like Deftones do that great.
Yeah, they do, because I don't think he's ever had a really good scream anyway. So I think they've had to kind of rely on that a lot. But I remember 100%. You guys, when you played at Gosford, 2020 it was, yeah. And you played with Bloom and Relica. And that was the only show I'd seen other than seeing my mate Jimmy Chasing Ghosts play around the same time. It was the only show I'd seen over that 2 years. And I remember saying to my mate after seeing you guys that night, there was something about your performance and your style and the way that you were approaching the vocals live that I hadn't really seen or heard from you or didn't translate from the album for me. And I said to my mate, I remember saying, their next album is going to be something different. Like, you wait. I can just tell, like, he's a dude that really wants to push himself vocally, and we're gonna hear something that we're not expecting. And you guys,
you should have seen me at In Heart's Wake, like the 170 shows, the start of this year, before anything other than Cass was out. Like, I was basically singing the Dark Pool like I would Heroin, just because I was already there. Wow. Like, I'd already like slipped into that character without myself knowing. Like,
is that something that you're going to continue to do with those songs moving forward? Give them a new sort of identity, I guess?
I think so. And I think because I'm not going to emulate the vocal effects live, then they are going to have a different flair to them. And not only that, like, it's a performance now. It's not just, I don't go up there and sing. I want to perform. I want to give more than we ever have. And it's just like, it's a whole new thing now.
I feel like that's translated pretty well from the video clips you've done. You've been directing and producing a lot of them, which is, hey, kudos to you for taking extra little like creative challenges there. That's sick.
Yeah, it was a nightmare, but I wouldn't have done it any other way, unfortunately.
Is just that very control freaky. Part of the process when writing these songs that you wanted to have the visual component to tie into it, or is that something that later on you're like, oh, I think that I could actually do something fun with this?
I've always been the one doing the videos. It's just that this was the first time I was sole director for these videos, and I did all the styling. So it made it able for me to really get into everything as much as I wanted to. But I said to Ethan, and I said to all the boys, I was like, if we're going to do this, I need you to follow me here. Like, I want to do this in every avenue that we can. We have to own this every little second, every little corner. Like, otherwise it's not going to make sense. Otherwise it's not going to land. Yeah. And it's not going to be what we're after. We have to own these characters, and I need more from you guys. I need this everywhere. And they've been really good. And we've been able to not only like follow the atmosphere we're after, but make sense of the character through it to then perform live.
But that's such a great term as well, atmosphere, because when you watch those new videos, they have so much atmosphere. They've got attitude, but they've got this whole new sort of artistic flair. And it seems to be coming through mostly like in Australian bands with you guys and Void. And we know you're like real tight with Jack. And I'm not sure if, he did the same thing with his band members, because it seems like you guys are just taking these bands. You guys kind of came up similar, but you've gone off in your own directions and both just nailing it and adding a whole new element to the Aussie music, like heavy scene. It's great.
Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely like, we got really close over lockdown because we're big film buffs. We wrote movies together and scripts and stuff. And we both have been really into the fashion element of stuff as well. And like through music, I think we're both very into like what MTV used to do, where, you really had rock icons that could do whatever they wanted and dress however they wanted. And you didn't blink because they could do that. And I think we've lost that. I really don't think that exists anymore. Or at least the way I want it in the music that I'm in. And he agrees. And I think it's just like, we're able to take directing to a new point, but we're also able to give so much more character and development to these songs that we write as lyricists to the screen. So it's been cool that we both share that.
Have you noticed a turnaround in the way people are consuming like your videos? We talk about this often when we're doing interviews, the fact that like reactions didn't really exist pre-COVID. much. And now there's like a whole weird era of people who like actively go and share your music videos for you. And has that been a conscious decision for you to like focus on what you're producing there and how much effort's going into them, or what you're putting out there to tell that story? Or is that something you wanted to do organically anyway?
I'd say organically. Like I think most of my heart is in these videos. I don't really think about the reach of them, or like I knew that they were going to be a lot to swallow after how Casanova was, because I really didn't think people were going to blow up like they did. I think because I was already deep into the process, I'd already gotten over that hurdle of, ooh, this is different. I was already like, it's different, it's us, people will get it kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then once that was such a difficult thing for people, I was looking at those other videos like, damn, like, I don't think anyone's going to watch these. And, you know, I get worried that like, we're just going to like, no one's going to watch them. And especially for Hollywood, I mean, that song's almost like 5.5 minutes. And it's hard enough to get people hooked for 2 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was a lot of work I had to do to keep things interesting so people would stay watching. But then I guess in our favor, the good press is bad press and bad press is good press worked. So
yeah,
100%. Plus it also, I mean, like you can kind of understand where people are coming from, because people fall in love with a band and they fall in love with their sound, and different is not only often scary for the person releasing it, but it's scary for the people listening to it, because they're like, well, this isn't what I love them for. Am I allowed to love this as much? For me, like when a band pulls it off well, I think it's just one of the most enjoyable things to go on a journey with a band and sort of, you know, like find beauty in other things the way they do as well. Have you noticed, as you release more singles, have you noticed people slowly coming around a little bit more?
No, probably not. I think Raw was we knew that Raw was probably going to save our ass a little bit before the release, because it wasn't originally going to be a video at the very start when I was writing them, but it was kind of a later edition. And seeing people like come full circle with it has been cool, but I think most of it has been the live performances that have changed a lot of minds.
No, that's good. Like, and we have seen a lot of comments saying that, like, you know, people have seen it live and it does translate so well. But look, you know, as an artist, you got to sort of basically go, well, to an extent, like, thank you everyone, but also fuck everyone, because this is my art and this is what I want to put out. And you got to stay true to that.
Yeah, it's true. It's a hard one. I mean, we've already, like, we've said for years and years, Ethan and I, that we write music for us. And I believe that any artist that really tells you that loves their music is lying. Like, if they don't, I don't believe it. I feel like if you don't completely encapsulate and like have the soul needed to do something different and really own it as your, you know, body and heart, then I don't think you write it for anyone else.
Yeah, fully.
You can't.
Yeah, I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised as well. Like you did say, the live stuff's how it's translating, but I still felt like the album is still very Thornhill, and you have progressed and taken chances and moved in a new direction, but it's not though it's like a new band. It's not like, I don't know, when like Bring the Horizon did whatever that album was, it was just like, this isn't what's the EP. I can't remember what it was called. It's just a completely different album. It's like, that's not that band. And they want to take a creative thing. It's not as though you've done that. You've gone and done a creative outlets a little bit differently, but you still kept the essence of what your band is, which I think really shows through as the whole album comes through. I'm excited to see what the response is as it comes out, which I'm sure people are going to be finding new songs to love that necessarily aren't the singles, which is exciting.
Yeah, well, we knew that. I think it was the singles kind of were just they weren't supposed to give away the album. I really believe in listening to an album front to back and being able to understand the journey that a band is trying to take you on. I think that's something that we kind of lose these days, because everything is like, gimme, 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 and then forget. And I don't back that. Like, I really want people to have the heart that they used to when getting a record was so important and it meant so much. And it was trusting a band to take you on a journey. And that's what I wanted from this. And I think the singles make sense with the album, in my opinion.
So Jody and I have had this discussion before, touching on what you're saying there. When Adele released her last album on Spotify, she had a rule being like, you can't have it shuffled. It has to play the album the way I've said. And I was like, I get that. I like that. Johnny disagreed with me. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that an album should be played front to back?
Clarifying, I only disagreed because I think as people who are paying for and consuming music, I agree with you should listen to an album front to back. Like I grew up in that era where it was all cassettes, CDs, vinyl, and you had to. But to the same extent, I feel like, yeah.
I was trying to think of something old.
But like, you know, like I still feel like different songs evoke different emotions from people, and sometimes you're in the mood that you need a certain song, and you should be able to listen to whatever when you want. So I think that forcing people to do that was just I didn't really like that she did that.
What's your opinion?
Okay, well, I think on your first listen you should listen front to back, and then after I don't care what you do, basically.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. I don't know how that was ever actually enforced. Now, I just read the article. I was like, yay, Adele. And I brought it up, and then we disagreed. So it's cool to be able to like have that discussion with people, but I don't know how they enforced it.
Yeah, neither do I. That's weird.
Yeah.
When you're Adele and you've got Adele money, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, Adele money. That's it.
Can't wait for you guys to make Adele money. So talk to us about live performances. How's that been? Post-COVID, post-lockdown, you did get to squeeze in a few shows in the middle of the pandemic, whereas a lot of bands didn't get that. I had to go to a freaking wedding and celebrate Stupid Love, and I missed the show. Johnny and I would go. I think I bought the fucking ticket, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to a wedding."
What was the show that you?
It was the show at Central Coast Leagues Club. You guys played with Bloom.
Oh fuck! Like the worst one you went to.
Well, it was local, bro. Like,
oh my god,
20 minutes from my house. But you guys played so well.
Yeah, we did okay. There was like a no mosh rule, and
that was fucking stupid.
It was fucked. Yeah, it was.
So I didn't miss out on anything.
Dumb.
Yeah,
no,
if security guards are walking in and say it's COVID, you can't mosh. It's like, oh, okay, I forgot. Like when you look at the list of contagious ways to catch COVID, moshing was actually
it's jumping upside. Yeah,
it's
it was.
You should see the way Johnny moshes. It's all tongue.
I would love to see that.
Well, play your cards, all right?
You wait for your next show.
Next show, yeah. We did. We were really lucky actually to squeeze in that tour because that was a big tour. It was like 18 shows. It was a big regional run, and we've been able to play a couple of festivals, and really only a couple of Australian shows so far. It's been more all overseas, which has been a whole wild fucking ride.
Upcoming tour though, which is very exciting.
We do. I cannot wait for that one. I can't wait to headline 170. That's going to be something crazy.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, it's exciting for us that like now that there seems to be a lot of consistency to shows coming back, and bands, like a lot of Australian bands, I feel like the last 2 years has been so good for like the heavy scene in Australia. There's so much music coming out that we finally get to share with people, but it's cool that you're also able to bring out like international supports and have that happen again, which is so exciting.
Yeah, that was really scary that we had to find another main support for a while. We were like, no, this has been planned. Like we can't do this, can't do that. You know, it was a really tough one to plan, especially with all the stuff we have planned for it. I mean, we've never done a tour this big. We've never had like crew.
Yeah, right.
You know, like I've never know what that's like. You know, you come home from an American tour where you also do the merch and you are also the crew. Yeah. And you come back to like a 10-person crew and it's like, whoa, this is going to be a big deal.
It's exciting.
Thank God. I'm so excited.
It must be nice it must be nice to see that all your hard work and the progression that the band is taking, like, is actually earning you guys those little luxuries.
It's definitely something I'm looking forward to after the album's out, because I'm still worried, you know, like I still don't know what to think yet. And we've still got a lot more shows to, you know, prove ourselves to the people that don't. And if not, like, that's chill. Like, I really am not here to win over metalcore kids that don't like it. Like, I understand that we did something different, but like for new listeners and for people that really want something different, I really want to see what they think.
I fucking love that attitude so much. Because, like, you know, like I've mentioned this before, but some of my favorite bands of all time have done that same thing, and they've done that move and they haven't gone back on their word, you know, like Thrice and Poison the Well are two big ones for me. Yeah, they did that thing, and then people are still like, every time an album comes back, it's like, oh, you're going to play something like Artists in the Ambulance? You know, it's like, you know, Poison the Well fans, why don't you sound like Tear from the Red anymore? It's like, we're not fucking doing that anymore. Get over it. And it's just,
I mean, we still get that it'll be like, hey, where's Reptile on the set and stuff like that, and we play Butterfly, and it's like, bruh, no.
Just let us be current. Let us do what we want to do.
Yeah. Let me swing my goddamn hips.
I am all for it.
You have some moves. You definitely have some moves. Yeah.
I taught myself.
I was gonna say, was that like a learning process? Is that something you just all natural?
Oh,
because Johnny likes to
move. I
can't
can't dance. Literally, my mum has always said I was dog shit. And mum dogged me. She's like, you're just like me. We can't dance. And she just categorized me basically.
It sounds like
and
she's
I was like,
protecting.
You just stop believing it.
Goddamn right. Yeah, she don't believe it anymore. Seeing these videos.
Look, if you need a backup dancer, I know just the guy.
Oh, both of you can jump up. Are you kidding me? Let's go.
Let's do it.
But yeah, it was a lot of teaching myself, because like men don't have dance videos up there. Like I had to learn all women moves. Like, and that was kind of the point. Because like
no. Justin Bieber, but like, Harry Styles.
Yeah, Harry Styles
and Justin Bieber, like they don't have I wanted to learn core moves. I didn't want to learn their moves. Like I wanted to learn how to move, that I could become myself.
Okay,
you know what I mean? And men don't have that. It's like hip hop dancing, how to break dance, how to shuffle.
I've got an idea for a new channel.
Oh shit, here we go.
Teaching how to core dance and Nathan Johnny.
You're obviously like a very sort of driven and artistic, person. And this change was obviously in your foresight for a long time now. Did the whole COVID pandemic lockdown thing kind of really heighten that and push you to continue that, like, and I guess maybe speed up the process?
It definitely, I reckon it started it, to be honest, because I mean, it was a big journey I went on to get where I am, like a lot of confidence building, a lot of like character building. And there was like things I had to work out in myself to be able to do this. Like I lost heaps of weight and I went to the gym heaps, and like, I did a lot to become who I wanted to be before I could start, if that makes sense. And like lockdown, you're not doing anything else. And we were really much in the mindset of like, we're going to use this time and we're not going to slack at all. And it was really difficult. And it was not something that I thought we were going to get to. Because we always talk about it like, oh, what would heroin be if we didn't have that time? And it probably wouldn't be where it is. No way, I don't reckon. It was just the ability to kind of distance myself and work on myself before I could come to the band with it.
We've kind of had that conversation a few times, though, about the fact that while COVID was a shitty thing, there was a lot of silver linings, particularly for the creative arts that's come from it. It allowed people to really either be productive and write tons of music, or just take a step back and have a break and reinvigorate themselves. Or it's allowed a lot of people, and even from the live music perspective, like concerts, people are turning up at the start of a concert and are getting in the mosh pit from the get-go because they're like, I missed this, I want to have that. I think there's going to be it's a real renaissance of music now, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's a very exciting thing to think about, I think, especially with festivals.
So if we got a favorite song to play live from the album, you're excited from like tour rehearsals?
Ooh, I really want to play Varsity.
Cool.
Varsity for me, it's just slow and it just feels sexy. It's super teen. Yeah, it's sexy, but it's like teeny. It's like, it was written as She's All That. So it's very like varsity college football game, heartbreaky.
Yeah.
And like, I really am keen for that mood live.
Cool.
Very cool.
So probably that one, yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, all right. So heaps of tours coming up. I'm super interested for your answer on this one, because a lot of bands we've asked like who their bucket list band or dream band to play with have kind of made sense, but I'm very interested to see who your bucket list band would be to play with.
Or artist.
I mean, I'll give you a couple. I'm going to say Deceased. It would be definitely Jeff Buckley. He would be playing some massive rooms. Like, that would be crazy. I would love, like, realistically, I would love to do Bring Me the Horizon. I reckon that would be really cool. It'd be a really cool one to get for us. And then I would say Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, nice.
Sick. Yeah, that would be such a good show too.
That'd be so sick. That's very much the vibe.
And you
Yeah,
know
that
what?
would be
Like,
cool.
I don't mean to boost your ego or anything, but like, I reckon that you guys would probably be one of the bands, someone who's as headstrong and as opinionated as Billy Corgan would probably listen and go, oh, fuck, I'm down with this.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to find that out one day, but who knows, Hopefully it gets...
What's on the future?
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
Cool.
So we always end these with some would you rathers because Johnny likes to make things uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Hit me.
All right. So would you rather permanent monobrow or no eyebrows at all? Can't draw them on, can't shave the monobrow. Yeah. No,
well done.
We're on this,
we've added that one in now.
I have to say a monobrow. I think
you're absolutely right.
Hooked without eyebrows.
Yeah. Did I Photoshop your eyebrows off yet?
No.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Jack shaved his off.
Yeah,
From
but
the tour.
he's a bold man. He
is a bold man.
Yeah.
Bold in both ways.
Yeah, fully.
All right. So,
Would you rather take all these?
Oh no,
no,
you
go
go
on.
on.
No, it's all right. I like it. You have a great voice. Keep going.
Would you rather Marvel or Star Wars? And if you were to be in one, what character would you play?
Oh, Marvel or Star Wars? I mean, I would choose DC to be honest, but between yeah,
who would you be in DC then?
Yeah,
who would I be? Probably always wanted to be Nightwing.
Okay,
always.
Sure.
He's a gangster acrobat, and he always looks sexy. So
you know what? You kind of look like the dude that plays Dick Grayson on the Titan series. I don't know if you've watched that.
Oh, Brenton Thwaites. Oh, thank you. That's so nice.
You're welcome.
He's gorgeous. So
He's a
take
good-looking
that.
man. Yeah. Take that out.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Back to those. So between actual Marvel and Star Wars,
I would say honestly, Darth Vader would be pretty sick. Like being someone like, but in his Anakin stage where he was like angry and powerful.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, cool.
And before he was actually Darth Vader, like before he had to wear a suit at all times. Okay.
Yeah. When he was like hot and he could
hot, but also a little bit of a bitch.
Exactly, absolutely. Just like Thornhill.
There's your quote right there.
Oh, that's the best thing anyone said on one of these. That's fantastic. All right, you go. You take the next one.
Well, I won't keep you too long because we've been running a while here. But the last one here is, so you have to play a set, and we ask this one to everyone. There's a mixed response. You go on stage, you have to put on wet socks and play, or wet underwear.
Wet underwear.
My man.
I reckon because like I hate wet socks. I hate that.
Do you like wet underwear?
I don't, but I'd be hip swinging so fast it'd burn off. Don't worry.
Well, you'd be creating so much sweat
Damn
anyway.
You and your sexy attitude beating the questions. Jacob,
what would you guys pick?
Socks.
I'd go undies because I'm kind of chunky, so I sweat like a motherfucker anyway. So they're drenched in a few minutes. But also, I hate the wet socks because I've explained this to you before. Like I used to be a tradesman, so when I wear work boots and like you'd go in wet days and stuff.
Yeah.
When you've got wet feet for so long and you get those sultana toes, and it just feels like your feet are splitting.
Yeah, and it hurts too. Like it hurts the heels of you. Yeah.
As a guy with big thighs that rub together at the best of times, wet underwear is a no-go. It's just too much chafe situation going on.
Yeah, that's true. It's like a wetsuit.
Yeah, but like worse because the wetsuit's supposed to be that, and it's like neoprene, so you've got like the insulation. Underwear is not thick enough
to.
It's
just cotton. Yeah,
that's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah,
so, that's gonna fuck you up.
Anyway, dude, thank you so much for taking the time. I'm so excited for the world to hear this album. We've been very lucky to be playing it for the last couple of weeks, and
we love it, man. It's fucking fantastic. It really is, and there's so many cool surprises on there that they're just
and we're so excited to see you in the next few weeks. That's so exciting.
What show are you coming to?
As many as we
can.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll
definitely be at Sydney. Is there a Newcastle show on the tour?
There is a Newcastle show.
So we'll probably be there for those.
Yeah, hell yeah. Fucking come around, have a couple of these. No
swing some hips and drive some underwear.
Swing some hips. I better be seeing you guys swinging hips in the pit.
I promise you, these hips won't stop.
Thank God.
Thanks so much, dude. It's been a pleasure. You're an absolute legend. And yeah, we hope that everyone does pick up the album and really get behind you guys because you deserve it.
Heroin out now.
Thank
Get
you.
us it.